Why didn't anyone tell me this about cancer? Okay, we need a heart-to-heart. And boy, do I have a heart-to-heart for you today. Because look, this is deep, but that's what I'm here for. When it comes to cancer, I'm gonna give it to you straight, but I'm also gonna guide you through. I'm gonna say some stuff here that's kinda hard to hear, but you'll grow. We'll grow together. But sometimes the truth hurts. In this video, I'm sharing with you exactly what you absolutely need to know about cancer, but no one is going to tell you this except for me. This is my perspective, and some of this is kind of hard to hear, but there are also some pieces in here that are going to help you if you're feeling really lost when it comes to cancer, isolated, like no one understands you. Or maybe you just want to be prepared for what's about to come. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in here about some of the crazy things that you need to know about cancer. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I was clueless about what this actually looked like. And I had already completed my doctorate in cancer care. I had this wealth of knowledge about cancer and cancer recovery, but I had never gone through it myself. Because until you've gone through it yourself, you don't truly understand what it's like to go through cancer. Basically, what we know about cancer is that it's scary, like so scary. But in reality, that doesn't even scratch the surface when it comes to cancer. So starting with number one, and this is a really tough one, but I said I was gonna jump right in here, so here we go. The people around you are gonna react in different ways. Oof, this is a tough one. Because if you're diagnosed with cancer, you're already going through so much. But your community, your family, your friends, the people around you, they're impacted by this too. Some people will rise up, and it is amazing. I had girlfriends leave groceries on my doorstep, shovel my walkway. It was incredible. But some people will disappoint you. Maybe there were people that you thought that you could really count on. People who had been in your life for years and years, but they just really struggled to gracefully navigate such a stressful situation. And worse yet, some people will be grief tourists. Let me explain. These are people who you hardly ever talk to, maybe someone from your past. And then you're diagnosed with cancer, and all of a sudden, they're messaging you and calling you. They want to see you. I even had someone insist on coming with me to chemo. I hadn't spoken to her in so long, but she wanted that smiling picture of her next to a bald lady so she could show everyone how much she cared. But as a cancer survivor, you're navigating some tough waters, and it's hard to know people's intentions. Whatever you decide to do, just be aware of your boundaries and hold those boundaries. Your boundaries matter, especially when you're getting chemo. The second thing I wish I would have known about cancer is that nausea and vomiting is not the most common side effect. When I went through chemo, I was given a drug that's known to cause nausea and vomiting. But here's the truth. I had absolutely zero vomiting and very, very rarely had nausea. My symptoms were almost non-existent. It's because the drugs we have now to control nausea and vomiting are really, really good. Now, of course, some people are gonna have nausea and vomiting. That's bound to happen. But for me, it wasn't the case. Now, the most common side effect of cancer treatment is actually exhaustion. The exhaustion is actually so severe, and it's different from any other fatigue or exhaustion you've ever had before. It's completely crippling. It's like you're pulling a refrigerator behind you. It's this wet, heavy blanket that's weighing you down every single day. When I was going through cancer treatment, I had a really hard time just getting through my day. I wish I would have been more prepared for how long lasting that exhaustion was going to be. And I wish I would have known that there was actually something you could do to get rid of your exhaustion after you finish cancer treatment. A lot of cancer guidelines actually come right out and say cancer exhaustion can last indefinitely unless you do something about it. It can last forever unless you make a change. The number one thing that you can do to actually stop feeling so exhausted is to move your body. I know it sounds counterintuitive, right? You think, I'm exhausted, so I should just rest and it'll get better. But that actually, it just makes it worse. If you want to get rid of the exhaustion, then you have to start doing gentle movement. And that's exactly what I did. I just started walking, first around the house, then around the block, then a little bit further and further until finally that exhaustion started letting go. But the last thing that you absolutely need to know about exhaustion is that it's also linked to your food. This is a big part of increasing your energy and your cancer recovery. I wish I would have taken my food so much more seriously during and after my cancer treatment. I wasted a lot of time recovering from cancer because I didn't pay attention to my nutrition. Had I done it immediately during chemo treatment or even right after chemo treatment, I could have saved myself a lot of time and got back to living my life a lot sooner. But speaking about nutrition, that actually leads me to the third thing that I wish I would have known about cancer, and that's about hair regrowth. You can actually grow your hair back a lot faster if you're strategic about it. Now, for me, losing my hair was really traumatizing. I had always had long red hair. It's how people recognize me. It was my identity. And when it all fell out, it was really devastating. A lot of women say to me, I know it's vain, but I just really miss my hair. It's not vain. It was a choice that was taken away from you. You didn't decide to shave it all off. It was completely out of your control. Hair is how you perceive yourself. I do not think that's vanity. But what I didn't realize is when my hair finally started growing back, there were things I could have done to help it grow back faster and fuller. And this links back to your nutrition. You see, hair growth is directly linked to your food. You need certain amino acids to grow your hair. Amino acids come from protein. If you're not eating enough protein, then your hair growth is going to slow down. It took forever for my hair to grow back. I wish I would have known this because it could have sped up the process. The other thing about hair regrowth that I wish I would have known is actually about rosemary oil. Rosemary oil is just as effective as Rogaine in growing your hair back. And I didn't even realize this until years after I had finished my chemo treatment. If you use just a couple of drops of rosemary oil on your scalp once a day, this will help your hair grow back faster. And it's totally safe. Now, the fourth thing I wish I would have known about cancer, and this is a big one, so prepare yourself. Your sex drive is going to change. This is super scary, but about 50% of women actually just stop having sex after cancer. Excuse me? That is not right. We have got to fix this, and the first thing that we're gonna do is start talking about it right now. Libido completely drops off after cancer treatment, and it can stay that way for months and years after you're done treatment. But there are absolutely things you can do about this. Using techniques like a body scan, a sex menu, or making sure you are not in pain while you're having sex. These are all ways to have great sex after cancer. The women I work with in the Cancer Freedom Program, they also get access to my bonus course called Great Sex After Cancer. This is your step-by-step guide on how to have great sex after cancer, because you deserve it, Survivor Sister. Now, this is a major thing I wish I would have known about cancer. A lot of different clinicians, nurses, doctors, secretaries will guilt you or shame you about the treatments or decisions you make during your treatment or recovery. This is so widespread because a lot of women won't even tell their doctors what supplements they're taking during treatment or recovery because they don't want to be shamed, they don't want to be guilted, and they don't want to be told to quit. But you have a right to do whatever you wish during your treatment and your recovery. You are in the driver's seat. At the end of the day, you are the only one in your body that has to live with these consequences. So don't feel bad about asking questions, asking for a second opinion, or advocating for yourself. It's what you absolutely must do. During my own cancer treatment, I was getting to the point where I was sick of having constant blood draws. So one day I get a call that I need to go in for yet another blood test. So I refused. I didn't understand why I needed to go in. It wasn't explained to me, so I wasn't going to do it. Of course, my husband was mortified. He just wanted me to do whatever the doctor said, right? Just put my trust in him. Whatever he said was right. But I needed to understand. Of course, I trust my doctor, but I still need to understand why they're doing this. If there's a good reason, then absolutely, of course, I'll do whatever. A blood draw, a scan, a treatment. But I need to understand why. It's ultimately your choice. You get to decide what happens to your body. I know it's hard to advocate for yourself when you're scared but just keep in mind that you are in control. Now, the last thing that I really wish I would have known about cancer or cancer treatment is this, and I really need you to know this too, that it doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be holistic or alternative medicine or conventional or Western medicine. You can have the best of both worlds. In the Cancer Freedom Program, I use absolutely anything that's science-backed and proven to work. That could be lifestyle changes or exercise or mindset, or it could be supplement. Anything that's proven to have a positive impact, that's exactly what you need. You don't have to feel bad about using an oncologist or even two oncologists, or using an oncologist and an acupuncturist, or going to a naturopathic doctor, or having someone like me to help you with a proven plan to stay healthy and recover from cancer. People always ask me, did you ever just think about stopping chemo and going the alternative route? The answer was no, because I didn't think it needed to be one or the other. I can take chemo that works, that was the right option for me, while still using alternative methods to help minimize the side effects and help get cancer-free and stay cancer-free. Opening yourself up to all options, that is the best direction. You don't have to pick a camp. Okay, so now that you know the truth about cancer, now that you have all the details, what you really need to dive into are the secrets about chemo. That's why I've linked up this next video here on chemo secrets. Let's dive in. I'll see you in the next video.